guys, Work here. Welcome back to the bench. Today we're going to be reassembling a CZ P10c slide. Now, in this particular case, we are going to be using this beast. This is the reptile slide from Norsso. Norsso did send me this thing. I just wanted to send that to you guys as a heads up. They sent me this thing to get some information out to you guys, to show you how to put it together and to do some shooting with it and review it. But for now, what you guys are going to get is an installation video for it. And later on, you'll see me shooting this thing and you get an update as to how it works. For now, let's go ahead and hop into it, because the assembly of the Norsso slide is exactly the same as the assembly process for a standard P10c slide. So first things first, if you guys watched the disassembly video, we're going to be doing this in the exact opposite order. First thing we're going to be doing is putting in the extractor. Then we're going to be putting the firing unit back in. So with that said, let's go ahead and put the extractor in. So the extractor is going to go right down in this pocket here. We've got a spring that needs to be seated in this hole right here. And then we've got our extractor that needs to go in. Before we do that, let's go ahead and brush it off and make sure that the extractor is in decent shape. And shy of the carbon buildup that is now on my fingers, it looks to be in pretty good shape. So let's go ahead and fit it in the slot. Let's make sure everything fits acceptably down in here. And it does. I would expect nothing less from Norsso. Now we've got two options here. We can either remove this plate or we can leave this plate here. I'm going to go ahead and leave the optics plate on right now. We're going to spin it upside down because you can actually, can you guys see right there that the hole when it covers and when it doesn't? So if I couldn't see in there that well, I would go ahead and pull the optics plate, and that would give me a little bit of light on the other side to be able to see. But because I can see that so well, I'm not going to worry about pulling the optics plate off. So the one thing that is different about the Norsso slide versus the standard slide is the length of the pin that we're going to use. The Norsso pin is approximately 1/8 of an inch shorter than the stock pin, and the reason why is because of that optics plate. This optics plate here cuts so far down into the slide that Norsso needed a slightly shorter pin so that it didn't interfere with that optics plate or the optic mounted on top. Also, the pin that Norsso sends is a spring pin. It is not a solid pin like the CZ pin. What that means is that you don't have to stake the Norsso slide like you do with the standard CZ slide and pin. So let's go ahead and grab the appropriate roll pin punch. Let's line up our pin on our punch. Let's line up our hole here. And let's see what we can do as far as getting everything lined up. As always, this is a three-handed process. I'm going to grab a slightly bigger roll pin punch. That one was not doing the job. And double check my lineup there. Pin in, punch on. Let's see if I can get it started just a little bit here. Okay, and let's go ahead and use the harder side of our hammer this time. Extractor nice and in there. And once we're down and in there all the way, so you can see here mine smushed a little bit right there, which I'm not the biggest fan of. So let's go ahead and, okay, first of all, let's check, make sure that our extractor is rotating, and it is, so that's always a good thing. Next, let's go ahead and see if we can get rid of where this mushroomed a little bit, because I don't really like the look of that too much. There we go. Shouldn't actually cause any damage, but, you know, just to be safe, go ahead and get that off of there and give ourselves a nice, clean, smooth surface. And now the hardest part is actually done. The rest of it's just sliding the firing mechanism in, just like that. We're not going to put any grease down here. You can see that it does actually have a hydrolock hole here. I don't remember, marine hole, is that what those are called? To let any water out. The original slide did as well, so that's why these things do well in water tests. But now we can go ahead and slide our firing mechanism in, and once that's in, we can go ahead and push forward on this plastic piece again, and then just slide our back plate back in. Now I am just putting in the stock back plate. Eventually I'll probably get a primary machine one to go along with this setup, but for now I've just got a stock one. So let's go ahead and push forward on that while sliding the backing plate in. So I'm just going to sit the backing plate there, push forward, push down, and with that, the backing plate is back in, and our Norsso slide has all the internals back in. So as you see, it's actually a pretty easy process to put one of these slides together. So now let's go ahead and toss our barrel recoil spring in and get it on a frame. So with the barrel, we are going to oil the top section of the barrel here. This is going to be our lockup section. And then we're just going to put a light film of oil across the barrel portion of the barrel and get some down here as well. Because this is a fresh slide, we're going to have a lot of rubbing of surfaces on this thing, so I want to make sure that it's well lubricated. Next up, let's go ahead and get our primary machine recoil spring and guide rod in. Now with these two-piece guide rods and springs, you want to be able to set the spring in, hold this section up here as you compress, and that'll keep everything linear. And there you go. That's all together. Go ahead and clean my hands off a little bit. And with those on, let's go ahead and oil up our rails here. We are going to want a substantial amount, like not drenched, but we definitely want a lot of oil in those rails because, again, fresh slide, you want to make sure that you've got plenty of lubrication all over your moving parts. Now this thing will break in as time goes, but for now, I mean, it's pretty slick already. You can feel a little bit more of the friction in there than I could with the stock slide. But I'll tell you right now, these cocking serrations on this reptile slide are downright amazing. I already want one of these on my P10F. Function is exactly like it was before. Sight picture with these sights is actually really nice. A couple of little facts about Norsso. First of all, the material that they use on this slide is not your standard like machine quality stainless steel. This is a super high quality, high-end stainless steel. It costs a lot more, it's more difficult to machine, but the finished product ends up being significantly more durable than the standard stainless steel slides. In addition to that, this is a CZ cut front sight and a Glock cut rear. So this is actually using a proprietary rear sight made by Norsso for a Glock cut rear on the P10c. Eventually they are looking at making the rear sight for a P10F, for the P10 Optics Ready cut, but you can see here how much wider the dovetail is on the Optics Ready version of the P10 versus the Norsso. What that does is that gives them a lot more space for the optic up in front of it, so that they're not cutting into that dovetail back here. I'm actually really liking the sight picture these are giving. It's not an overly wide or overly narrow gap in the sight picture. It's kind of just the right amount of light on either side. So kudos to Norsso for developing good sights for this setup. And guys, that's it. That is how you assemble the P10c slide from Norsso. Again, this will work for any P10 slide on how to put in the extractor and how to put in the firing mechanism. That's it for this time, guys. Keep an eye out for future videos on this Norsso slide. If you found the video useful, go ahead and like and subscribe down below. If you've tried a Norsso slide before and you've got some opinion on it, go ahead and type that in the comments down below. If you like what we do here on the channel and you want to support us, go ahead and visit our Patreon page. That's patreon.com/WorkTheTrigger. Remember, guys, I appreciate every one of you, and until next time, do your research, get informed, and get to work.